Ever find yourself constantly prioritizing others' needs and desires over your own? This is what we call the people-pleasing trap. It's when you go out of your way to fulfill the wants of others, often at the cost of your own well-being and happiness. This tendency is more common than you might think. Many of us unknowingly fall into this trap, nurturing a pattern of behavior that gradually chips away at our self-esteem. It's like a silent thief, robbing us of our satisfaction and contentment. Over time, this can lead to feelings of resentment. You might start to question why you're always the one bending backwards, why your needs always seem to take a back seat. It can feel like you're stuck in a loop, a cycle of giving and not receiving. But remember, it's not all doom and gloom. Recognizing the trap of people-pleasing is the first step towards breaking free. It's the beginning of a journey, one that leads to self-assertion, authenticity, and ultimately, a more fulfilling life. How often do we forget to prioritize ourselves in the hustle of pleasing others? It's a question that hits home for many of us. Caught in a cycle of people-pleasing, we often neglect our own needs and desires. But breaking free from this cycle is not only possible, it's essential for our well-being. So how do we do this? Start by asserting your boundaries. This doesn't mean being aggressive or inconsiderate, but rather standing your ground and making it clear what you will and won't accept. Next, express your needs and desires. You have a voice, and it's time to use it. Speak up about what you want and need without fear of judgment or rejection. Lastly, prioritize self-care. You're important too, and it's crucial that you take time out for yourself. Prioritizing your well-being isn't selfish, it's necessary. Remember, it's okay to say no and prioritize your own needs. So let's start breaking free from people-pleasing today. Fear and guilt holding you back from asserting yourself? It's a common issue, but there are ways to overcome these negative emotions and build confidence. One powerful method is to challenge our limiting beliefs. We all carry certain assumptions about ourselves, about what we can or cannot do, about what is acceptable behavior. But many of these beliefs are outdated, unhelpful, or simply untrue. It's time to question them, to rewrite the story we tell ourselves about who we are and what we're capable of. Another key to overcoming fear and guilt is adopting a mindset of self-compassion. We need to be kind to ourselves, to forgive ourselves for our mistakes, and to understand that it's okay to prioritize our own needs. Self-compassion allows us to be assertive without feeling guilty, to speak up without being paralyzed by fear. So, let's not let fear and guilt hinder us from speaking up. Let's challenge our limiting beliefs, show ourselves compassion, and start asserting ourselves fearlessly. Ever wondered how to express yourself assertively and authentically? It's all about effective communication. Picture this. You're standing in a room full of people. You have something important to say. How do you ensure your message is heard, understood, and respected? First, be clear and direct. Avoid vague language and beating around the bush. Say what you mean and mean what you say. This shows others that you value not only your own time, but theirs as well. Next, practice active listening. This isn't just about hearing the words that are being said. It's about understanding the emotions and intentions behind them. By doing this, you show empathy and respect towards the speaker. Finally, empathy is the golden key. It's the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. When we communicate with empathy, we build stronger, healthier relationships and resolve conflicts in a more peaceful way. Remember, your voice has power, but only when it's heard. Effective communication is key to expressing oneself authentically. How comfortable are you in setting and maintaining healthy boundaries in your life? Setting boundaries is like drafting a personal constitution. It's about establishing your rights and responsibilities in various areas of life, including personal relationships, work, and social interactions. It's about knowing where you end and others begin, and it's about protecting your space, time, and energy. Let's consider personal relationships. You might decide to set boundaries about how often you communicate, how much time you spend together, or the types of activities you engage in. At work, boundaries could relate to your workload, your work hours, or how others communicate with you. And in social interactions, you might set boundaries about personal space, topics of conversation, or the behaviors you find acceptable. To communicate these boundaries effectively, it's crucial to be clear, direct, and assertive. Practice using I statements, which express your needs without blaming or criticizing others. For instance, instead of saying, "You're always late," try, "I feel disrespected when our meetings start late." Setting boundaries is vital for preserving our mental and emotional health. It's an act of self-care and self-respect. So let's start respecting our boundaries and stand tall for ourselves. Ready to stand up for yourself and advocate for your needs? Assertiveness training, as illustrated in Not Nice, comprises exercises and activities designed to build your confidence and equip you with the necessary skills. Here's a glimpse into the journey. First, it's about recognizing your rights and understanding that your needs and preferences are just as important as anyone else's. Then, we move on to expressing your needs and desires clearly and directly, without apology or guilt. This might feel uncomfortable initially, but remember, comfort zones are meant to be expanded. Next, we practice saying no. It's a simple word, yet it holds immense power. Start with small, low-stakes situations and gradually work your way up. The aim is to make saying no a comfortable part of your vocabulary. Finally, we advocate for your needs, asking boldly and unapologetically. This step might seem daunting, but it's a crucial part of assertiveness training. With practice, assertiveness can become second nature. Are you ready to be true to yourself, even at the risk of disapproval or rejection? It's time to embrace authenticity, to be genuine, real, and unapologetically you. This isn't about being unkind or abrasive. It's about honoring your values, your feelings, your thoughts, and your desires. It's about cultivating self-awareness, understanding who you truly are, and what you want from life. It's about self-acceptance, acknowledging your strengths, and embracing your imperfections. It's about self-expression, daring to voice your opinions, express your feelings, and assert your needs without fear or guilt. This journey might seem daunting, but remember, every step you take towards authenticity is a step towards liberation, towards a life of fulfillment and empowerment. You might face disapproval or rejection along the way, but the freedom to be yourself is worth it. So embrace authenticity and let the real you shine through. Living authentically is the key to a fulfilling and empowered life. Want to transform your relationships and create healthier connections? Let's delve into how this can be achieved. The first step is learning to assert boundaries. This might sound challenging, but it's vital for maintaining a balance in your relationships. By clearly expressing your needs and limits, you're setting the groundwork for mutual respect. Next, we have effective communication. It's not just about speaking, it's about listening, understanding, and responding in a way that honors both your feelings and those of the other person. Clear and direct communication is the backbone of any healthy relationship. And lastly, prioritizing self-care. This is not about being selfish, but about acknowledging that you cannot pour from an empty cup. By taking care of yourself, you're better equipped to care for others and contribute positively to your relationships. In all these steps, mutual respect, empathy, and understanding are key. They foster positive interpersonal dynamics and help transform your relationships. Remember, healthier relationships lead to a more fulfilling life.